Welcome back to another Free Agency Friday. It's going to be another position of need. It's the cornerback position. One Pride, what's going on? It's your boy, T. Back at it again with another episode of Talking with T. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at the top available cornerbacks in the 2024 free agency that the Detroit Lions should target. So without further ado, let's roll right into the video. It's hard to say any of these players don't get franchise tagged. It's hard to say the guys at the top of the list, the guys that we think the Detroit Lions should target, are the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell kind of guy, and is Brad Holmes going to take it? So a lot of this is wishful thinking because I don't think he's going to target some of the top guys. I'm going to go towards the bottom of the list and tell you who I really think that Brad Holmes is going to target, just based off his aggressiveness in free agency the last couple of years. So let's get right into the list. The first guy is an NFC North division rival, and he's coming from the Chicago Bears. There's rumors going around at the time of the trade deadline that the Detroit Lions were going to go target this guy to go get a cornerback opposite side of Cam Sutton. His name is Jalen Johnson. We've seen him. He's number 33. He's pretty solid. He can lock some players up. He had 4 interceptions last year, 1 forced fumble. A deal, according to CBS Sports, a deal for him. He's the top available cornerback. He's going to be looking at 5 years, $78.7 million. That averages it out to $15 million a year. I don't think Brad Holmes is going to break the bank on a corner like that and spend $15 million a year on a corner. I think he's going to go somewhere else. But that is a corner that we were rumored to be interested in at the trade deadline. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Holmes were to make his first ever splash move on Jalen Johnson. Now let's go into the second player, and his name is L'Jarius Sneed. He's playing in the Super Bowl this weekend, and that's exactly why I would want him on the Detroit Lions. He'll bring that Super Bowl experience. He'll figure out what it takes to help these players to get over that hump, to beat San Francisco in the NFC Championship or whoever we got in the NFC Championship next year if we get back there. I would love to have L'Jarius Sneed here. Who knows if he's going to leave the Kansas City Chiefs. He may get franchise tagged. They might sign him again. But a deal for him is going to be looking at 4 years, $47.3 million. That comes out to $11.8 million a year. That's not too bad, and I could see Brad Holmes going after L'Jarius Sneed. Another player that's really solid, he's been solid for years, is Kendall Fuller from Washington Commanders. He's more of a slot guy, so I don't know if we're going to be really targeting a slot corner, especially because we got Brian Branch. But a deal for him would be looking at 3 years, $42.2 million. That comes out to $14 million a year. Again, that's breaking the bank on the cornerback, and I don't know if Brad Holmes would actually do that. But this guy would be interesting, and this is a guy I could see the Detroit Lions targeting because he's not just because he's a hometown kid, but Sean Murphy-Bunting. He was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl with them. Then he was on Tennessee last year. Tennessee was in a complete rebuild. They're looking like a dumpster fire, and he's at 2 years, $13.5 million. That comes out to $6.7 million. That's exactly a deal that I could see Brad Holmes forking out, and a player that is better than Kindle Vildor and is better than Cam Sutton. So you can have Cam Sutton lock up the number 2 wide receiver and not have to be on the number 1 wide receiver. Chidobe Awuzie, we know he's been all over the league. He was on the Cowboys. He was on the Bengals. I think he was on the Broncos. He was on somewhere out west. He's been a player. He's been solid. I think he was on the team with Cincinnati when they went to the Super Bowl, so he would bring Super Bowl experience to this team, but he's a veteran player. That's another player I could really see the Detroit Lions going after. Kenny Moore from the Indianapolis Colts, he's been a solid vet ever since he's been in the league. I don't think he's going to leave Indianapolis. I think he's a lifetime Colt, but if he does touch free agency, I would love to have him on the opposite side of Cam Sutton. That would be an awesome move. And then you got Stephon Gilmore. Sorry, these guys that they listed, they didn't give deals for these guys, projected deals for these guys, so it's probably going to be like a 2-year, 1-year prove-it deal for these guys. But Stephon Gilmore, he's on the Cowboys. We got his little brother, Stephen Gilmore, here. So it'd be fun to have him to come here, be the older brother to his little brother, have him on the opposite side of Cam Sutton. Stephon Gilmore played pretty solid for the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys had one of the best defenses last year. So, yeah, he would come in here. He could help out the young guys. I still think the Detroit Lions should draft one. I think they should spend most of their money on a premier pass rusher. But these are guys that would come in here and revamp that secondary and make our secondary a lot better. But ultimately, what's going to make our secondary a lot better is just getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's exactly what we need. But we do need another corner on the opposite side of Cam Sutton. Let me know what you guys think in the video down below. Let me know which players you want to go target in free agency, whether it be Jalen Johnson or if you want to settle for Chidobe Awuzie or Stephon Gilmore and Kenny Moore. I wouldn't be mad with any of these players because they're better than what we had and they would be an absolute upgrade. Like I said, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for tuning in. It's your boy T signing out. One Pride. I'll see you soon.